was very busy last night, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. You were watching the Duchess of Sussex's latest Netflix series, which has had very mixed reviews, but you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
OK, here's where I come clean, Emily. I didn't watch a single second.
Let's make a show.
Let's go. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
And I just couldn't bring myself to.
Well, should we give you a little refresher?
I just want to raise a glass to you, guys. This feels like a new chapter that I'm so excited that I get to share. And I've been able to learn from all of you. So just thank you for the love and support. And here we go, there's a business.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
It's magic.
I'm just learning.
Look at how much honey we have.
Do you believe in magic?
We're not in the pursuit of perfection.
Now, you must be literally a bundle of wits waiting for this incredible new show with love from Meghan. You must be waiting for it.
I mean, Meghan, some of her advice that she gave People magazine this week was how she likes to take her Chinese takeout and make it look beautiful on the plate. And, you know, that's the kind of advice I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Woke us all up. We're in the pursuit of joy. Love
I
is
can't
in the
take it anymore. Get
details.
out, get out, get out. Uncle, make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her.
Biggest stars and investors,
Right.
where they were teasing their 2025 lineup. Meghan was nowhere to be found in the paperwork. She received a brief mention when she was the butt of a joke by one of the comedians on stage.
So hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen this sort of before. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity. Because I know other women who are listening to this podcast and totally relate. When I have my girlfriends over and we're cooking, all of us are in full glam.
Joining me now is celebrity and royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's start with the reaction to Meghan Markle's new cooking show. I should say Meghan Sussex because she prefers that these days. It's called With Love, Meghan. It's been ripped to pieces by the...
Full glam. And we're like, it's not about perfection. But then you look at what we've made and it's literally perfect. In fact, just when I make a cake, it looks just like that with my girlfriends. I look perfect. They look perfect. The cake looks perfect. But we say it's not about perfection.
Netflix thought it had a hit. Meghan Markle's lifestyle series With Love. Meghan was supposed to be her comeback moment, the perfect mix of Hollywood charm, royal curiosity, and wellness aesthetic. But weeks after its premiere, the reality couldn't be more different. Critics called it toe-curlingly unlovable. Viewers, mostly uninterested. And now, even with big names like Chrissy Teigen and Gwyneth Paltrow lining up to appear in season 2, the backlash isn't going away. It's getting louder. Why? Because this isn't just about recipes, decor tips, or guest appearances. It's about authenticity, or as the internet calls it, hypocrisy. Meghan corrected Mindy Kaling on camera for using her maiden name, saying, "It's Sussex now," sparking a mini firestorm. Her now viral skillet spaghetti recipe got slammed so hard online that food bloggers started remaking it just to mock it. And when she launched her $14 artisanal jam brand, even Ryan Reynolds and Conan O'Brien took shots, joking it's made from the oils of Montecito.
Really? Because I feel like it maybe is precisely about perfection. Skipping through with honey and bees. Like who are you trying to be?
Add to that the accusations of using her royal HRH title on a branded gift basket, despite promising years ago not to. And suddenly Meghan's polished persona is under fire from all sides. So here's the big question. Can star power actually fix this? Can Chrissy Teigen's relatability or Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness glow distract from what critics call a Montecito ego trip? Netflix seems to think so. They've already filmed new episodes, ramped up the PR machine, and promised that season 2 will be more personal, more real. But for many viewers, the damage may already be done. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what went wrong, why the new guest lineup is both a lifeline and a gamble, and whether Meghan Markle's second season is a recipe for redemption or another PR disaster waiting to happen. Because once the internet labels you a hypocrite, there's no unjamming that. When the reviews started rolling in, Netflix didn't just wait and hope things got better, they went straight into damage control. And the first move? Call in the celebrities. Chrissy Teigen, a social media powerhouse with her own cookbooks and a reputation for keeping it real, was the first major name confirmed for season 2. She reportedly filmed her segment earlier this year, chatting with Meghan about motherhood, missteps in the kitchen, and finding joy in the mess. On paper, it sounds like exactly the kind of energy the show was missing.
Why can't she just lend that marketing team to Meghan Markle? Why does she struggle so much with humanity? Why can't she just be like, hey, if I'm on that marketing team and I'm strategizing, I'm like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. You're just gonna be a person. She's like, what? What are you saying?
Something casual, candid, and actually relatable. Then came Jose Andres, not just a chef, but a global humanitarian. His work with World Central Kitchen has made him a household name far beyond the culinary world. His inclusion seems like a strategic move to bring weight and heart to the next chapter, something critics say season 1 sorely lacked. But the biggest PR splash came when People magazine revealed that Gwyneth Paltrow, yes, the Goop Queen herself, is open to joining. She and Meghan, according to insiders, have a text friendship, and Gwyneth's already said she'd be absolutely down to appear in a future episode. That's no small nod. Whether you love or loathe her, Gwyneth brings global star power and an entire lifestyle brand of her own. Clearly, Netflix is stacking the deck. Big names, big personalities, and a clear push to shift public perception. From wholesome recipes to philanthropic conversations, they're trying to build a season that feels richer, deeper, and way more human. But the question still hangs. Can cameos from famous friends really fix a show that many found overly staged and out of touch? Or is this just putting a designer bandage over a brand identity crisis? Because while the guest list might be glowing, the core criticisms haven't gone anywhere. And as you'll see next, critics weren't just unimpressed, they were savage. So,
you're gonna get up out of bed, okay? Your hair's gonna be a little messy, out of place. You're gonna go pick up your kids, maybe if that's what you do. And we're just gonna try to figure out like who you are.
Here's the hard truth. With Love, Meghan didn't just underperform, it practically nosedived. In its first week, the show drew in around 526,000 US households. Not terrible, until you compare it to Meghan and Harry's earlier docuseries, which pulled double that number in the same time frame. That earlier project had the royal intrigue. This one, critics say it had all the flavor of a Pinterest board, and none of the substance. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a critic score of just 40%. Metacritic, an even rougher 37 out of 100, which lands it squarely in the generally unfavorable zone. And the reviews? Brutal. The Guardian didn't hold back, calling it toe-curlingly unlovable and vacuous. The Telegraph labeled the show an exercise in narcissism, where celebrity guests spend 8 episodes telling Meghan how amazing she is. Variety dismissed it as a Montecito ego trip, and The Spectator said watching it was like eating air in a gilded room. Audiences weren't much kinder. Social media was flooded with memes mocking everything from the kitchen setups to the way Meghan narrated segments with storybook calm. On Reddit and YouTube, reaction videos described it as a soulless influencer reel, with more attention paid to herb gardens and glassware than to real emotion. But the damage isn't just in the numbers, it's in the brand. Meghan was supposed to be building a new narrative, a fresh chapter. Instead, the public got what many felt was a hyper-curated look into a life too perfect to connect with.
Like, I don't understand why they thought that producing what could only be described as a rom-com trailer. I truly, when I watched this, I tweeted, I thought it was going to end and say, starring Drew Barrymore and Julia Roberts in whatever two. You know, like, what is this? It's giving rom-com vibes.
It felt less like a series about lifestyle and more like a showcase of one lifestyle, theirs. And here's the real kicker. This is after Netflix reportedly pumped millions into the set, guest talent, and PR rollouts. So, what do you do when the soft-focused storytelling doesn't land? You change the story. But even that pivot came with problems, because it wasn't just bad reviews causing headlines. Meghan was about to be called something far worse, a hypocrite. Just when the buzz around the bad reviews started to settle, another storm rolled in, one that hit right at Meghan Markle's credibility. Photos began circulating of a luxury gift basket sent out by Meghan's lifestyle brand, As Ever. Tucked inside was a neatly folded note card, signed with a very specific monogram, HR, H the Duchess of Sussex. Now, for most people, that might seem harmless, royalty signing off with a title. But here's where it turns controversial. Back in 2020, when Meghan and Harry officially stepped back from royal duties, they agreed they wouldn't use their His, Her, Royal Highness titles for any commercial purposes. It was a deal made with the palace and the public, a line in the sand. So when the world saw HRH printed on that card, attached to a basket of high-end jam and herbal soaps, it wasn't just a branding choice, it looked like a broken promise. Critics jumped in fast. Some accused her of deliberately playing both sides.
The music in the background. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe? What is that? Like, this is just, even when she was giving us reality, she couldn't give us reality. So I just wanted to say that if you don't like her, it's not your fault.
Distancing from the monarchy when it's convenient, but quietly leveraging royal status when there's product to move. PR analysts called it a textbook example of mixed messaging. And once again, the word hypocrite dominated headlines. Even her defenders struggled to justify the move. Was it a mistake, an oversight, or was it intentional branding meant to signal prestige and exclusivity? Whatever the reason, it opened the floodgates for more skepticism. Suddenly, people were looking at everything, from how she signs her emails to how the Netflix series presents her image, with a lot more suspicion. And if the HRH slip-up wasn't enough, the next moment sealed the deal for many who were already doubting the Duchess's down-to-earth image. Because in one awkward exchange on camera with a guest who's loved worldwide, Meghan managed to stir up an entirely new round of backlash. Out of all the moments in With Love, Meghan, this one should have been heartwarming. Meghan and Mindy Kaling, two powerful women of color, both trailblazers in their own right, sitting down for a cozy chat about life, family, and identity. But instead, it turned into a PR mess. During the episode, Mindy casually mentioned something from Meghan's pre-royal life. She says, "Back when you were Meghan Markle..." It's the kind of line any friend might say. But Meghan instantly cuts in. "You know I'm Sussex now, right?" It was quick, polite even. But the internet didn't see it that way. Within hours, clips flooded TikTok and Twitter. The hashtag #Meghan Rude started trending. Viewers called the correction awkward, unnecessary, even condescending. Some said it was another example of Meghan distancing herself from the past she once embraced. Others just thought it was a weird flex in front of someone like Mindy, who's beloved for being relatable and self-aware. And then came the memes.
There's been a lot of things going on, not just over at Netflix, but also within Meghan Markle's own team, really trying to embrace damage control to really fix her career, to really even win back the lost fans that walked away from Meghan Markle.
Side-by-sides of Mindy's slightly frozen smile after the comment. Edits turning the clip into royal etiquette lessons. Even comedians started reenacting it, mocking the shift from Markle to Sussex like it was a rebranding exercise gone rogue. Eventually, Mindy addressed it on The View. She didn't throw shade. She called the whole reaction fascinating and made it clear there was no drama between them. Still, the damage was done. That 10-second exchange became one of the most talked about parts of the entire season. Why? Because it hit a nerve. It reinforced what critics had been saying all along, that with love, Meghan isn't about connection, it's about control. That behind the floral aprons and chamomile tea, there's a relentless effort to rewrite the past and polish the present. But as the internet was busy dissecting guest interactions, something even sillier was bubbling up, literally, because Meghan's kitchen wasn't done causing drama. The next backlash came not from what she said, but from what she cooked. By now, you'd think viewers had seen it all. But then came the pasta. In one of the earliest episodes, Meghan demonstrates a quick one-pan meal she claims is perfect for busy evenings. Spaghetti, cherry tomatoes, greens, feta. Just add boiling water straight from a kettle and stir it all together in a cast-iron skillet. No stove, no straining, no technique. Just vibes. Cue the internet explosion. Foodies were horrified. TikTok chefs stitched the clip, calling it culinary blasphemy. Twitter food critics said, "That's not food, that's punishment." Even Italian nonnas weighed in. And while some defended it as a modern hack, others pointed out that it didn't even look appetizing. Just soggy, bland, and weirdly staged. To make matters worse, Meghan followed up the viral recipe with a promo for her luxury food brand As Ever. One of the star products? An artisanal raspberry jam. Retail price? $14 a jar. Let's just say,
because even they are starting to wake up about how phony, fake, and narcissistic she truly is, how self-absorbed she really is. Insufferable is the best way to describe her at this point when it comes to how she's actually been acting out against critics.
People weren't sweet on it. Podcasters Conan O'Brien and Ryan Reynolds had a field day. On a recent episode, they joked that the jam was infused with the oils of Montecito and should come with a royal seal of approval and maybe a trust fund. The roast went viral. And suddenly, Meghan's kitchen, which was supposed to be the heart of the show, became the punchline. The deeper issue wasn't just the food, it was the symbolism. Audiences saw someone promoting ultra-premium jam while, in the same episode, discussing how many families can't afford fresh groceries. The contrast felt jarring, out of touch, even exploitative. So now, between HRH monograms, awkward name corrections, and pasta that angered half the internet, Meghan's show was being torn apart from every angle. And with the pressure mounting, Netflix had no choice but to step in, strategize, and try to spin the narrative before season 2 hits. What they did next? It shows just how high the stakes really are. Behind the scenes, Netflix knew it couldn't afford another flop, not with this much money, this much press, and this much public scrutiny. So instead of scrapping with Love, Meghan, they doubled down. But this time, with a very different strategy. The goal? Rebrand the series as more human, more grounded, and, most importantly, less staged. Insiders say Season 2 wrapped production earlier this spring, and editing is already in full swing. The set? Still the same Montecito farmhouse vibe, with white linen napkins, vintage glassware, and dreamy sunset lighting. But what's changing is the tone. Producers are now leaning hard into so-called imperfect moments, like kitchen mishaps, guest interruptions, and Meghan admitting things didn't go to plan. It's no coincidence the guest list for Season 2 includes names like Chrissy Teigen and Jose Andres. One is known for brutal honesty and social media self-deprecation. The other, a chef who's fed people in disaster zones and is deeply respected across political lines. These aren't just celebrity cameos, they're strategic reputation buffers.
One thing about Meghan Markle is that, yes, we already know that she's been spilling new truths about her life, about her career, many of which has a lot to do with negative aspects of her career. She admitted just a couple of days ago that there's been a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, and a lot of scenarios that she just can't get through.
Even the teaser trailers, according to leaks, will avoid the soft-focus glamour that dominated Season 1. Instead, we'll see bloopers, behind-the-scenes giggles, and off-script moments meant to show Meghan is more relatable and less rehearsed. There's also talk of Harry appearing more naturally, unscheduled, unfiltered. One clip reportedly shows him dropping in with their kids while Meghan's mid-cooking demo. It's the kind of moment viewers love, real, spontaneous, and emotionally grounded. Netflix hopes this reframe will reset the conversation. But it's also a gamble, because when an entire show was built on polished perfection, can you really pivot to vulnerability without it feeling calculated? Even now, PR insiders are whispering that the messy Meghan arc might feel just as curated as the Martha Stewart version. And that's the risk. In trying to fix one image problem, they could create another. And for some fans and critics, that leads to the same old question. Is this really Meghan being herself? Or just another version of a role she's still playing? At the heart of all this backlash, beyond the awkward guest moments, beyond the pasta disasters, beyond the $14 jam, is one uncomfortable word that keeps coming up: authenticity. Because when audiences watch with Love, Meghan, many say they don't see the real Meghan. They see a performance, a persona, a character who's been perfectly edited, airbrushed, and accessorized to fit a specific image of elegance, calm, and effortless grace. And it's not just the critics saying it. Comedian Katherine Ryan, who once publicly supported Meghan, changed her tune after watching the series. She called the show very manicured and very forced, saying it felt more like a branding campaign than a personal project. And she wasn't alone. British viewers on Gogglebox, a reality show where everyday people react to TV, openly mocked Meghan's meticulously arranged kitchen and soft-spoken narration. Reddit threads piled on, describing the show as Pottery Barn propaganda, with more focus on rose-colored napkins than...
Meghan Markle has been dropping a lot of secrets lately, putting that out into the general public, letting others know about what she's up to.
Real conversations. Even Meghan's fans started asking questions. Why does every episode feel like it was run through a mood board? Where are the mistakes, the mess, the vulnerability, the stuff that makes lifestyle content actually resonate? It's a tricky position. Meghan has spent years navigating relentless public scrutiny, and it's completely understandable that she'd want to control her image. But when the final product feels too controlled, too pristine, it starts to work against her. Viewers begin to doubt everything. Every smile, every anecdote, every perfectly arranged fruit bowl. And here's the thing, once the audience stops believing you're being real, it's hard to win them back, especially when they're watching through a lens of skepticism, already primed to see contradictions, curated drama, or just more of the same. Which brings us to the final question. One Netflix, Meghan, and her team are all hoping season 2 can finally answer. So now the stage is set. Meghan Markle's Netflix series is heading into a second season, not with quiet changes, but with a star-studded splash. Chrissy Teigen, Jose Andres, possibly even Gwyneth Paltrow. The celebrity cameos are locked and loaded. The PR machine is humming, and Netflix is betting that this shiny new lineup will turn critics into fans and flip the script on the backlash. But here's the problem. Audiences aren't just watching with love Meghan anymore, they're scrutinizing it. Every guest appearance will be dissected, every spontaneous moment will be questioned. Was that genuine or carefully planned? Viewers have seen the HRH misstep, the Mindy Kaling name correction, the jam jokes, the pasta memes, and now they're not just judging the show, they're judging the intent behind it. And that's where even the biggest celebrity cameos might fall short, because people aren't tuning in to see Chrissy Teigen teach Meghan how to roast a chicken. They want to know if Meghan will finally drop the filter and show something real, something flawed, funny, or even uncomfortable. And if she doesn't, the backlash won't just return, it'll get louder, more biting, more viral. Because once the internet smells a performance masked as authenticity, it doesn't forget. It drags. So can season 2 overcome the damage? Can a new round of famous friends distract from the deeper perception problem? Maybe. But it'll take more than name drops and new recipes. It'll take vulnerability, humor, honesty, the kind of unscripted chaos that can't be faked or controlled, because in 2025, audiences aren't just watching shows, they're watching intentions. And if Meghan's next chapter doesn't feel like the real her, no amount of jam, fame, or borrowed glam will be enough to turn things around.